Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
And I thought I knew it all until I started reading Past the Wire. You should read it too.
Make it your most profitable Breeders' Cup ever with Past the Wire. Sign up now for the annual Breeders' Cup seminar. All the angles, winning insights, betting strategy, and more. The best Breeders' Cup seminar on the planet, only from Past the Wire. With a proven track record of success, nobody does it better. Reserve your spot today at PastTheWire.com.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Geo Sette with Past the Wire TV. Delighted to be back with you. Hoping life has been treating you well. And who's better than us? We have the 40th rendition, 40 years of the Breeders' Cup coming to you this weekend. This show, I'm covering Juvenile Friday, the 5 Breeders' Cup juvenile races. Some people like to call it Future Stars Friday. No doubt, many of the horses that we see that are successful on Friday, we're going to see a lot more of in 24. I'm going to have 2 shows. This show is specifically all 5 juvenile races on Friday. And if you stay tuned, probably tomorrow, I'll be publishing, or Past the Wire will be publishing, my show for all 9 Super Saturday Breeders' Cup Championship races. Now, just as an intro, I'll share a couple things with you. First of all, scheduling Santa Anita's card begins Friday at 11:30. So 2:30 Eastern time. That's the full card. The 5 Breeders' Cup Championship races will be Friday starting at 5 o'clock Eastern or 2 o'clock on the West Coast and going all the way to 7:40 Eastern, or of course, back it up 3 hours, it'll be ending at 4:40 on the West Coast. So, very excited about Juvenile Friday. Let me just share a couple thoughts before we go to commercial. Listen, how often do I talk about film study, race replay, stop, pausing, forward, watching stretch runs, watching the beginning of the race, watching the break out of the gate? It's essentially important with juveniles, okay? Obviously, you could recognize the maturity. Often a lot of analysts talk about juveniles being precocious in their ways, developing rapidly. Obviously, it's important with all levels of handicapping, but especially with juveniles. Pedigree, bloodlines, I do a deep dive every single time, even if it's just a regular maiden special weight race at Belmonte in the middle of June, or if it's a Breeders' Cup Championship race. I have the same approach. 40 years into the Breeders' Cup, it's a beautiful thing. 1984 it all began. Trust me when I say this, I've been a part of it all 40 years. So listen, the ride is essentially important. Obviously the condition is in the barn as a whole and the successes they've had with each horse during the year, essentially important. But let your eyes recognize what's really probably most important is what you've seen demonstrated and exhibited over the racetrack. So trust me when I say this, I've done all deep dive, hard work for you guys. I'm looking forward to going over all 5 races. I'm going to give you, just to sacrifice some time. If I don't mention a horse, I really don't like him, even though I looked into it deeply. I'm probably going to go with my top 6 for all of you in precise order in each one of the races. All right, so without further ado, I'll be back in a minute or so. We're ready to rock and roll Breeders' Cup Juvenile Friday. Talk to you
in horse racing with exactly the same thing. A dream. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. That dream is what unites us.
Running the race of her life, and she's up to take the lead.
But what truly sets us apart is choosing to make that dream a thrilling reality.
And Spiced Perfection wins the great one, La Brea.
At Dare to Dream Stable, we've been on a relentless mission to breathe life into those dreams for our partners for over 20 years.
Here's the wire Mooncat.
Our track record speaks for itself. We've excelled at turning dreams into reality at the most reasonable price points in the
In the
industry.
winner's circle is Dare to Dream Stable, LLC.
So the question is, do you dare to dream? Join us in racehorse ownership today. To and through the 2023 Breeders' Cup World Championships, exclusive interviews, barn tours, winning insights, and more. Join Past the Wire all week long on the backside and at the rail from Santa Anita. Past the Wire at the Breeders' Cup World Championships is presented by Amwager and Dare to Dream Stable.
Okay, everybody, I'm back. You ready? 5 big races. Juvenile Friday begins now. So we start off race 5 at Santa Anita on Friday. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Now, by the way, I've actually done very well with this particular race over the last 4 years. I always keep track of my history. So I'm confident with every race, but these turf sprints, because you have to be able to recognize raw speed and that tenacity you need for what seems to always be a very crazy stretch run. Positioning is imperative. So without further ado, let's go over my choices. Remember, what I'm going to do for the duration of Friday's analysis and handicap, and all day tomorrow, Saturday, when you see the next, the next show, is, trust me when I said I dug deep into every horse, but you got to be decisive. So I'm going to give you my precise top 6 in each race. All right? So if I'm not mentioning a horse, it just wasn't for me. So I had to move forward because I needed to be decisive. And I like to go 6 deep for you deeper gimmick, superfecta, triple players, because a lot of horses at this level, they simply have a shot at a price. All right. So my order of finish, for you to jot down first, and I'll elaborate on each horse. Race 5, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, is 4-12-2-1-9-6. That's my precise order. Top choice. Now, this is a European who I was very, very impressed with. I couldn't get past him. Big Evs, Mick Appleby. Follow the game, you'll know that it's not the Godolphin Charlie Appleby, but Mick Appleby is a successful trainer as well. Very impressed with the horse's body of work, the company the horse shared overseas, making his U.S. debut. 4 out of 5 in the money in the exacta on the weeds, winning 3. Fast horse, post position fits. They may have him to catch. And if he's not on the lead, he's going to be second or third with a real good position to run him down in the stretch. So the 4 is my top choice, going 5 furlongs. Next, all the way down deep is 12. Committee of 1. Now, I think that a lot of people are going to overlook this horse because of the post position. Stephen Asmussen got this horse ready, the son of Mendelssohn. I trust Christian Torres in the saddle. I watched, and by the way, I watched every one of the juvenile races across the board. There isn't a race I've missed. What this horse demonstrated in the Indian summer at Keeneland, very visually impressive. Trust me, don't overlook this horse. Could be at a square price, has a shot to win, but that makes my exacta underneath the 4. That's the 12 as my second choice. My third choice is the 2. No Name Mets, George Weaver, Irad Ortiz. Fast horse, good company, demonstrated over several tracks. 3 for 4, winning on the weeds. I feel improving. I don't think the horse ran his best race yet. So a contender in the race, my third choice. Fourth choice is the horse on the rail, the filly going against the boys, Crimson Advocate. Johnny V up for George Weaver. So George Weaver has the 1 and the 2. Fast filly. You know, sometimes when fillies go against the boys, you worry about, hey, the natural instincts. The girl getting the lead and she runs away from the boys. I don't, she may be a front runner. She's got speed, pace presence, no doubt. I just think my top choice is a little classier. I have to list her as a contender, but my 4th choice on the board. My 5th choice is the 9, Amidst Waves. Very impressed with the horse. There's another filly, by the way. The filly's Closing Punch. Loves the weeds. Was in the same race I spoke about, the Indian summer. Came flying, just missed. Wouldn't be shocked. Had to be decisive. Expect the horse to get a pretty good trip from the 9 hole and come running at the end. Last, my 6th choice is the 6. Starlust with Frankie Dettori. Pretty good races overseas. Not overly impressed, but I think this horse hasn't run his best race yet. Training well, coming over for the U.S. debut. I respect the connections. That's how I see the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. 4, 12, 2, 1, 9, 6. All right, let's go to race 6. Post time on the East Coast should be about 5:40, 2:40 Pacific time. These are fillies. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies going 1 mile and a 16th, 8.5 furlongs. Okay, many, of course, stretching out. Many trying, ambitiously placed into the race after just a few races in their career. Let me give you my order of finishing and then I'll elaborate on each. 7, 1, 9, 13, 11, 12. 7, 1, 9, 13, 11, 12. And by the way, this could be an ice cold 7, 1, 9. Short price here, but that's how it turned out. Number 7, Tamara. Regally bred, son of Boldoro and Beholder, filly, daughter of Boldoro and Beholder. Very impressed with her races at Del Mar, winning by open lengths willingly. Should get tons of money into window. I think Mandela's got a real sharp filly here. should get an excellent trip. I'm not worried about the distance at all on the stretch out. You're probably not going to get better than 4 to 5 on this horse. I'd be shocked if the horse isn't favored, and I'd be shocked if the horse doesn't win part of my cold exacta, my cold triple. That's Tamara at a 7. The 1 is Candied. Now, Todd Bletcher, you know, I almost put this horse on top. Very impressed again, willingly coming from behind. Both races, the debut at Saratoga and the race at Keeneland, stretching out to the same 1.16 distance. Again, what was demonstrated on the track, professionalism, maturity, very impressed. I'd be very surprised if this horse doesn't come hard in a stretch. She just may be a little short to what seems to be a dynamic filly in Tamara. The 9 horse is my 3rd horse. This filly, Bright Work. Santana's up for John Ortiz. Jockey change from Irad. Horse has done really nothing wrong. 4 out of 5 win. Enjoyed watching her in every one of the races. Last race was a very big disappointment. Took all the money, or most of it, and basically didn't have anything left in the stretch. First time stretching out to the distance. I think there's more to come from this horse. A contender, but a reach, in my opinion, to try to beat the 7 and the 1. But my respect is there. My 3rd choice is the 9. Probably end up being a cold triple. 4th choice is the 13. Alley's Beach. Daughter of Omaha Beach, a horse I was very fond of. Gaffleone up for Thomas Amos. Training well. I don't think the distance is a problem. Gaffleone rode this filly during her debut as a winner. Back on her. 4th choice. Look for her to make her presence felt as they turn for home as well. The 11 is my 5th choice. Life Talk with Irad up for Todd Pletcher. Daughter of Gunrunner. Like the bloodlines. Think she's made for the distance. Impressed but not overly impressed with her body of work. Needs to run her best to win this race. But my respect is there to hit the board, maybe in your deeper gimmicks. The 11 is my 5th choice. And I round up with the 12, Just FYI, the daughter of Justify, 2 for 2, Belmonte, Alvarado's up for Belmonte. Won in the wet at Aqueduct, won the debut from the outside post at Saratoga. I feel the horse, listen, she's 2 for 2. Big step up here, even though she's a grade 1 winner. Wouldn't shock me, but the others just seem much more dynamic. But this horse is a major threat to hit the board in your triples and superfectas. So respectful towards my placing here as my 6th choice. So the Breeders Cup Juvenile Fillies, 1/16, $2 million. My order of finish is 7-1-9, 13, 11, 12. 7-1-9, 13, 11, 12. This is a cold exacta, cold triple. I wouldn't go past it. Sometimes you got to wager a little more to make some money. And I'm seriously thinking about singling the 7, Tamara, or maybe just using the 7-1 in your multiples. All right? I'll be right back to cover the last 3 races 7, 8, 9 on Juvenile Friday.
Tracking trips with Pick 6 King John Stetton. It's one of the best tools in horse racing for any level of player. It's your second set of eyes, spotting troubled trips, betting angles, track trends, horses to watch, and favorites to fade.
10 figs, ticket structure, and more. At Tracking Trips, you're a friend with benefits. Not a member? You must hate winning money. Join Tracking Trips now. Visit PastTheWire.com and we'll see you in the winner's circle. Remember, nobody does it better.
Frankie Dettori. Ciao, Frankie. Tutto a posto.
Tutto a posto. Yes, that's a good start. So you haven't lost your Italian.
Frankie Dettori, legend, world-class jockey, one of the best ever to sit in the saddle, ambassador to the sport of kings. Meet Frankie during his fanfare like never before, only on Past the Wire TV.
In the Breeders Cup Classic, Vino Rosso has taken the lead, and it's a vintage performance by Vino Rosso.
Hi everybody, Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets.
Hello friends, Cheeto DePaggio here, Mob King. Anytime I'm wanting to know any information about the sport of kings, horse racing, I look to my man Jonathan Stetton at PastTheWire.com. And if you're looking to bet, like I always am, no better source than Jonathan. They don't call him the Pick Six King for nothing. So why don't you do what I do with anything that pertains to horse racing? PastTheWire.com. Tell him Cheeto DePaggio sent you.
Okay, I'm back with you. Final 3 races on Friday. We've covered the first 2. Here goes race 7, Santa Anita, 1 mile on the turf, the Breeders Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. So the young gals going a mile. $1 million purse, of course. Very intriguing race, by the way. Did a lot of work on this one because I went back and forth. I got some price for you here too. Let me give you my order of finish first. You can jot it down, then you'll be taking notes next to your numbers. At least that's what I think you should do, unless you want to watch this 2 or 3 times. All right, my order of finish, race 7. Post time should be somewhere in the area of 6:20 Eastern. My order of finish is 11, 6, 10, 12, 14, 8. And you know, for this race, because it was, when I went that deep, I had to give a little consideration to a 7th, which is the number 3. So 11, 6, 10, 12, 14, 8, 3. Let's go to my top choice. Number 11. She Feels Pretty. Now, she feels pretty impressive actually on film. When I watch these 2 races, you know, Johnny V's up for Cherie DeVoe. I like the connections a lot, but I was very impressed with this filly's willingness to move and move late. Very composed. Began her career in July at Ellis Park over in Kentucky on the weeds, sprinting. And they ship her out to Canada at Woodbine. Grade 1 race, Natalama. If you look at the trip, had trouble, stayed to the course, broke from an extreme outside post as well in a big field. The way this horse came, and came powerfully, wow, this filly was visually impressive. Wins going away after a troubled start. Didn't have the best of trips overall. You know, I think the connections here, ambitiously placing this horse coming back from Canada to the West Coast. I think she's a major threat here. If she goes back to running the race she just ran, I think she's a winner. She's a winner. And you may get, listen, I'd be shocked if this horse didn't get money at the windows, but she may be 5-6 to 1, and that's a square price in my book. That's the 11. She feels pretty. Second choice is the 6. No doubt, major threat. In the beginning of my handicap was my top choice. Grudgingly went with the 11 over the 6. Should be using your multiples. Definitely should be using your exotics, triples, and exactas. And I wouldn't fault someone to using the horse on top. Porta Futana. Great connections, making U.S. debut. I watched those races from overseas. Big time company. Stretching out here. Loves the lawn. Training well. Like I said, I'd be surprised if this horse wasn't a major threat deep in the stretch to take it all here. But I just was enamored by the 11, so put the 11 on top. So the 6 is my second choice. Real tough filly. Real tough filly. Trust me on that. All you have to do is watch the races. The 10 is my third choice. Austere. Tyler Gaffalione up for Brandon Walsh. What did I mark about here? Yeah. Greatly improved from her maiden special win to winning her second out at Kentucky Downs. You know, Kentucky Downs is an extremely quirky race course on the turf, all turf at Kentucky Downs, uphill, downhill. I thought the horse was very mature and handled it very, very well. Came off the rail, 3 wide, ran him down like Manny was standing still. That said a lot. This horse can actually better my rating. I'm going to use this horse at a robust price, probably be somewhere in the area of 15, maybe 18 to 1. I'm going to use this horse in my multiples. In my pick 3 and my pick 5, no doubt. Just very impressed with the way she conducted herself over a very difficult track. Second start after making her debut at Ellis Park on the lawn. Not worried about the distance at all. Horse has only gone the distance. Think built for the mile. The 10 is my third choice. A threat to win as well. I'm going to use my exacta and my triples. The 12 is my fourth choice. We go to number 12. Hard to Justify. Go by the name, daughter of Justify. $190,000 daughter of Justify. Flavian Pratt up for the third time. Chad Brown. You know the horse is going to be fit and ready. I think they'll also get a good trip. It's one of those races where you can't kiss all the girls. I was more visually impressed with my other top 3, but this horse was hard to leave off the board. I wouldn't fault people for using the 12 in multiples as well. Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt, 12 is my fourth choice. Hard to Justify. The 14 is my fifth choice. Let's go all the way down to the 14. Horse from Ireland, Les Pavots. U.S. debut, another European. I like the company. Loves the lawn, 6 for 6 in the money. Again, wouldn't be a surprise. Must use in your deeper gimmicks. Save time, I'll move on. Of course, by the way, if you have any questions about my handicap or a specific horse that I'm speaking of in any order, go to the comment field, ask the question. I'll check out the comments and I'll give you an answer, I promise. Okay? All right, going deeper into the race. Number 8. Good race this is. Life's an Audible. Irad Ortiz up for Todd Pleasure. Ortiz rode this filly since her debut at Saratoga. She went from the soil at Saratoga to the turf, took to it very well, stepped up to grade 2 Miss Grillo, and was second to Hard to Justify. I think the horse is going to move forward, have another big race. Don't know if she's good enough to win, but can easily hit the board. My 6th choice, Life's an Audible. And the horse I gave, just to give a mention, the only race I'm going 7 in mentions, is the 3, Butcher. Philip Bauer, solid barn, another daughter of Justify. The 2 races on the turf I was impressed with over at Churchill Downs in Keeneland. Again, it's a deep field. I don't think the horse is good enough to win, but the horse will make some of my deeper triple and superfecta wagers. That's race 7. Let's go to race 8. Let's move it along. Beautiful race. $2 million Breeders Cup Juvenile Boys, the Colts. And what's very specific about this race every year is there's a lot of eyes on the field because these are the boys who are going to be greatly considered for the Triple Crown, specifically the Kentucky Derby. At least they're training in that direction. The winner of this race, as you know, always gets significant consideration to be a threat in the spring for the prep races leading to the Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown. I'll tell you one thing about this race. Bob Baffert's got some monsters in the race, and I have a lot of respect for Bob Baffert. He actually is the trainer of 3 of my top 4 finishes. So without further ado, a mile and a 16th, the boys, $2 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile, a mile and a 16th, that's 8.5 furlongs. Top choice, my order, the full order, 2, 1, 10, 3, 8, 6. Write it down. 2, 1, 10, 3, 8, 6. Bob Baffert, Prince of Monaco, is the 2. Now, he's got 3 killers in this race, but I was most impressed with this horse. The son of Speightstown, a horse that ran on any surface and ran very fast. I've always been a big fan of pedigree coming out of Speightstown. $950,000 yearling purchase. Pratt's up for Bob Baffert. Dangerous, stretching out. 3-time winner, all 3 of his starts. On the West Coast, not much travel. Delmar starts, very impressive. I think Bob Baffert's very high on this horse and probably higher than his other 2, and we're going to get into that. My second choice is the 1, the Wine Steward. Luis Saez up for Mike Maker. New York bred. Sentimental in my heart for New York breds. But you know what? And I don't normally look towards New York breds facing open company, but in this case, horse is fast. Horse is improving with every start. The horse is working well. I think built for the distance. Daddy was Vino Rosso. If you remember Vino Rosso, big time winner of the Breeders' Cup Classic. Believe that was the Rapoli stable, but Vino Rosso is a nice daddy. $340,000 son of Vino Rosso. The Wine Steward. should get a good trip. And you got Luis Saez, major threat in the stretch. My third choice is going to be the choice of many, Muth, the $2 million purchase. Son of Good Magic by Curlin. JJ Hernandez is back up for Bob Baffert. Working fast. Quality works like the wind's blowing. Should get a good trip. I wouldn't be surprised if Baffert ran 1-2. But this horse is my third choice. And I'm going to use my top 3 in multiples. But the 10 is my third choice under the 2 and the 1. Going deeper. The 3. Wind Me Up. Also the son of Vino Rosso. Should be a nice price. Bob Baffert again. Shows speed. Stretched out already. Second to his stablemate, Muth. I don't think the horse is built the same way as Wine Stewart. And because of Baffert, it's probably going to be the bigger price of the 3. But the considerations there, my fourth choice is the 3. My fifth choice is the 8. General Partner. Manny Franco up for Chad Brown. Horse was impressive in the Champagne. In the slop at Aqueduct. Didn't win, but second to Timberlake, who's in this race, who I'm sort of shorting because I couldn't kiss all the boys just like I can't kiss all the girls. I'll get into that in a second. But my fifth choice here is the 8. Mainly for deeper gimmicks. $250,000 son of Speightstown, who I spoke very highly of. And if Chad Brown pulls this off, I'd be surprised. But the horse deserves consideration. So, not a complete throwout. Should be using your deeper gimmicks. And if you want to take a shot, getting a pretty good price, maybe in your triple or your exacta. Not likely to win, though. The 6 is my 6th choice. I said I'd go 6 deep in every race. That's locked. With Jose Ortiz up for Todd Pletcher. Ran a big number the last 2 took all the money. Son of Gunrunner. The horse is going to get a lot of money here. I just think there's this too much speed on the front end. And this horse is probably going to have to make a move and get a perfect trip to pull it off. But always respect a Son of Gunrunner for an outfit like Todd Pletcher. So it's 2, 1, 10, 3, 8, 6. Now, by the way, I mentioned the 4 Timberlake, Florent Garua for Brad Cox. Horse is very talented. I just don't like the way the horse was sort of up and down with the numbers. 58 buyer on debut. Goes all the way up to an 87. Down to a 69 in the Grade 1 Hopeful at Saratoga. Runs second. And then the Champagne ran like the wind blows in the slop. I think the horse took to the slop. Probably wants it wet. I had to be decisive and not use Timberlake. That's just my own personal feeling because the others just look better. They look faster. All right, let's close it out. Race 9. Wide open. Wide open. Colts. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf for $1 million, going a mile. I'm telling you, I looked at this race 9 ways till Tuesday. When I say wide open, you probably can make a case, a competent case, for maybe 6, 7, or 8 horses in this race. I'm going to give you my order of finish first, and I'll elaborate, and we'll close it out. Then I'll have you guys back for my Super Saturday show, covering all 9 championship races on Saturday. But race 9, probably go off somewhere in the area of 7:40 Eastern, the $1 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf for the boys. My order of finish, 14, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. Write it down. 14, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. The 14 is Carson's Run. Obviously the post is challenging, but Dylan Davis is up for Christophe Clement. I think the horse is training fabulously. The body of work is very impressive. Winning debut at the distance at Saratoga. Just missing in the second at Saratoga. Then winning the Grade 1 Summer at Woodbine. Going away. Very impressed. Had to be decisive. Wide open event. The 14 is my top choice. Look for a big time close in a stretch if he gets the right trip. The 2 is my second choice. River Tiber. Great company overseas. European Invader. Top outfit. Aidan O'Brien. Should get money at the window. I'm looking for this horse to be about 3 or 4 to 1. Second choice, the 2. 5 for 5 on the lawn. Wouldn't be surprised if the horse won. Going to use in my multiples, but underneath my 14 in my exacta. The 4 is my third choice, Can Group. Now, Can Group, talking about being visually impressive. Jesus Christ, I mean, he's going to have to run faster, but he made my grade as my third choice. That race at Keeneland in the last, I suggest everybody watch it. The horse was last. Just a majestic ride by Francisco Arrieta. Now Pratt takes over. Man, did this horse keep coming. With that type of effort, I think the horse has another big run in him. So Can Group, the last to first winner in his last Grade 1 at Keeneland. The Bourbon, it's a Grade 2 Bourbon. I think the horse has another big run. 2 for 2 on the turf. One more time. Flying in the stretch. That's the 4. Needs a good trip. It's my third choice. The 7's my fourth choice. A Gate Road. Todd Pletcher. This is the son of Quality Road. Has really done nothing wrong. Stretched out. Wins the last 2 on the turf. You get Irad. Now I put an asterisk here. Irad is Irad. If not the best in the business, if not one of the best. I know he's going to get a good ride. We'll need a trip because he's not that fast early on. If he gets the trip and Irad dig downs deep, this horse could threaten here. I have to make a decision if I'm going to go 3 or 4 deep in my multiples, but the 7's my fourth choice. The 9 is my fifth choice. Endlessly. J.J. Hernandez up for Michael McCartney. 3-time winner, 3 for 3, all on the lawn. Son of Oscar Performance. Nothing to dislike. Horse is just a tad under class-wise, in my opinion. Is going to have to run faster, capable of moving forward, no doubt. But being decisive, the 9 is my fifth choice. I definitely will use the 9 in my triples and my supers, not my exactas or my multiples. The 10 is my final and sixth choice. Fulminio, if it's pronounced that way. I like the barn. 1 second asking, performed over 3 tracks. Son of Bolt Doro has taken to the weeds. Another closer that needs to run faster, but considered, to me, a superfecta threat. So, in the 9th, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, my order of finish is 14, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. Hey, you know what? I've had some Breeders' Cups where I proudly say I just crushed it. 14 races. I've had 9 winners before. And that year I had 9 winners. I think it was like, you could check out the column. It goes back, I think it was 19 or 18. A few years back, but even my second and third choices, the races I didn't win, ran fabulously. Sure, we take the good with the bad. I've had Breeders' Cups out of 14 races, I'd only had 2 winners. But you know what? I still was proud and decisive about my handicap. You guys, I know you guys trust me. I do appreciate your viewership. I want to give a shout out to a couple guys over at the simulcasting center I frequent often down at the Jersey Shore. Frank, Mike, Big Tom, even Rhonda. We win as a team. We win together. Any questions, jot them down. I will answer. And please stay tuned for my Saturday show covering all 9 races on Saturday. Let's make some money Friday. Be decisive. Rock and roll. See you then.
It is here, the big day, the day almost all of us in horse racing wait for, Breeders' Cup Saturday. It looks like we're going to see some really, really impressive races on Saturday. It starts with the filly and mare sprint. One of my stronger opinions on the card is Goodnight Olive to start things off. I think she gets a perfect trip.
Goodnight Olive, 6 in a row and a Breeders' Cup champion.
We've got Modern Games going in the Turf Mile for Godolphin. The Godolphin and Aidan O'Brien horses we said on Past the Wire TV all week long on the backside. Those 2 contingents stuck out from all the rest. Modern Games looking for a big race from him.
Modern Games storming down the center of the course. Modern Games, a 2-time Breeders' Cup winner. You bet he is.
That is Rebels Romance, who in my humble opinion is one of Godolphin's better chances this year. Rebels Romance is a very, very good looking Godolphin horse that can absolutely win this race. Rebels Romance is a must use.
Rebels Romance rolling on the outside. Warlock got it. Makes her bend down toward the inside. Rebels Romance down the center of the course. Has it close to home. Rebels Romance wins the turf over Stoney.
We got Flightline that they're putting in the best ever category. There's no question that the race he ran in the Pacific Classic is one of the best races we've seen any racehorse run ever.
It is Flightline. It is spine-tingling, jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, Secretariat-like.
Does it better.